So we are officially recording. If you are watching us live on Facebook, feel free to ask me or my fellow Cowboys YouTuber any question you have as we discuss this Week 4 matchup between my Cleveland Browns and the Dallas Cowboys. So, although I gave an intro prior to recording, let me do my intro again. Welcome to another episode of The Sports Room. I am your host, Unger to the Max, and we are coming at you with a Week 4 Cleveland Browns preview as the Browns are headed on the road to Jerry's World, a.k.a. AT&T Stadium, deep in the heart of Texas. Like how I did that?
Exactly.
To challenge America's team. I personally say that's the Pittsburgh Steelers, not the Dallas Cowboys.
Ooh.
But if you want, we can discuss that. I'm fine with that.
Okay.
But welcome to the show, a fellow YouTuber, a Dallas Cowboys fan. I actually found out about you because of your collaboration last week with NorbCam.
Okay.
So that's how I found you. But welcome to the show, Do you want me to call you the Cabo Cowboy or Cowboys fan only?
That's my Twitter name. I actually go by J Tuck. That's what everyone's calling me. Cabo Cowboy is one of my inside joke names that I have for my Twitter account because a lot of Cowboys players, when they have contract negotiations or different problems, they tend to go to Cabo to clear their heads. So that's kind of.
You mean like Zeke did?
Like Zeke did. If you think back to the Tony Romo days when we lost the playoff game when we had the bye week, we went to Cabo, him and Jason Witten. That's what sparked the whole difference between him and Terrell Owens. So Cabo has been infamous when it comes to Dallas Cowboys football, to say the least.
I love it. Okay, so I'll call you J Tuck. Got it.
There we go.
Thanks for the clarification on that one. So, of course, we're coming off beating Washington, a fellow division mate of yours. So we're coming into this game feeling pretty good. We're 2-1. It's the first time we've been over 500 since week 15 of 2014, which we proceeded to lose those final 3 games at the home against the Colts, at the Panthers, and at the Ravens. We've put up 30-plus points in back-to-back games for the first time since 2010, while you guys are coming off losing, I have to say, a heartbreaker against Seattle up in the Pacific Northwest. It was 38-31. Although it shouldn't have been that close if DK Metcalf didn't have a brain fart.
Don't celebrate before you're in the end zone. It's a life lesson.
Yes. You guys should really be like 0-3, though.
Should we, or should we really be 3-0?
Oh, I love it. Oh, okay. I see how you're playing this. I see. I got you. I mean, I feel like I could pose the same question for us, but flip it. Where should we be 2-1 like we are, or should we actually be 0-3?
I would say you guys deserve to be 2-1 like you currently are. I watched the film last night. I just got done watching as we speak about your game against Washington. As you mentioned, Washington is a division, I would say opponent. I wouldn't say rival, but they're young.
Really?
There's still a lot of growth on. Yeah, we all know Philadelphia is the rival when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys and NFC East. Not the Giants, not the Washington football team. I'm still working on that.
Yeah, I'm just trying to work on that myself. Wait,
exactly.
Let me stop you right there for just a second.
Okay.
Why? I've always been excuse me, getting myself tongue-tied, perplexed about this. When you guys are all the way in Texas, while the rest of your division rivals, I know you don't consider Washington and the Giants be a rival, but just for the sake of what I'm saying, I'm going to stick to that. Are all literally in the East. So why are you guys in the NFC East?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think we came from the Texans originally, so I think once we were placed there, you already had the Houston Oilers. They were already in the division as far as the Texas teams are concerned, so they really just needed a place to put us. And so we kind of got placed in the NFC East, as you mentioned. Sometimes traveling to the East Coast for a lot of those games, especially in the playoffs, could be kind of costly, but. Yeah, I don't think there's really any rhyme or reason. I think where they placed us, and it's been working thus far. I think the Philadelphia Cowboys rivalry in the division is one of the best divisions in all of football. Rivalries and
Not right now, it's not.
well, not right now. But I will say this: even as bad as Philly has looked, and we've looked bad in certain moments as well, once we finally meet, it's going to be an explosive game because that game always goes, back and forth. I'm sure you guys have your rivalry with the Steelers in Baltimore. Yeah, well, I'm not sure if it's a rivalry, but there's always a kind of, a difference in the way you play when you play in division games. So
Sure. But I want to touch on that for a minute.
Okay.
For me, I'm a Browns fan, as you can clearly see, and I'm just a general sports fan.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually my recording studio, and this is the wall that I use. And these posters behind me, just so you know, I am a Browns season ticket holder. So I like to collect those posters for every home game because we don't have I don't know if the Cowboys do this, but for the Browns, we don't have physical tickets anymore. Is that how it is for the Cowboys?
We used to. We got rid of them last year. So I have the few past physical tickets from the actual game, but yeah, it's all digital now. I even went last year. It's like, hey, can I get my physical tickets? They're like, we don't make those anymore. I'm just
See, okay, so we're in the same situation, and I am a avid ticket collector. Like, I have tons of books of Cavs past tickets that I've been to for Cavs games, and past tickets that I've been to for Browns games and Indians games, and I can go on and on, But
so the question I must ask you really quick, I see the Dolphins behind you. What is that about?
So, okay. Yeah, I'm not a Dolphins fan.
Okay.
Don't get it twisted. But Miami, I actually went to a Dolphins game last year against Jacksonville.
Okay.
And I'm just a guy who, if I go to a stadium I've never been to before, I like to get some piece of memorabilia. That's why there's the Pirates pennant behind me, because I didn't go to a Pirates game, but I was at PNC Park. So I'm like, I want to get something from PNC Park. And this Boston Celtics poster, you can't see it fully, but it's Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, and Paul Pierce. Same thing. Like, I went to TD Garden, didn't get to see a Celtics game, but I'm like, I'm at TD Garden. I need to get something
from it. Exactly.
Right.
Piece of the action.
Right. My lifetime goal actually is to see a game at all 30 current NBA team arenas. Gotcha. So I'm trying to collect some piece of memorabilia from each arena that I go to. So it's funny. I have that Celtics poster, but I haven't been to a Celtics game yet. I do have a Mavericks poster.
There we go. So I'm going to ask you. The Mavericks, American Airlines Arena.
It's actually American Airlines Center.
Or Center. Yeah, Center.
I just don't have room on my wall for the Mavericks poster. But, I'm always changing my background. So who knows? You might see it up in a future video. Perfect. It's, I have it right over here, so I can get it out if you want. Around. But it's from when Rondo was actually with you guys.
Funny thing about Rondo, because Rondo's playing great right now, and I tell people all the time, Rondo is my least favorite athlete in all of sports.
I love that this is supposed to be Browns.
Well, you mentioned my Mavericks. I'm a diehard Mavericks fan as well. So,
are you a Rangers fan?
I really don't get much into hockey.
No.
Texas Texas Rangers. No. Actually, I'm a Yankees fan. So when it comes to baseball,
what?
Yeah. So
wait a minute. So you're a Mavericks fan. You're a Cowboys fan.
And a Yankees fan. Exactly.
now you have me questioning just a little bit. Why the Yankees?
Well, because my sports background comes off of influences. So actually, when it comes to college football, I'm a Florida State fan as well. So
You're a
just to
what?
play Florida State Seminoles.
Oh, okay,
Please,
got
yeah,
it.
just disregard that right now. They're not playing too hot.
Go Gators, baby.
But yeah, oh, okay. I'm Xing the show. Yeah. So the teams that I grew on, I was just influenced as a child. And back then, watching the Yankees play with those guys, way before the Derek Jeter thing, but and Darryl Strawberry is one of my favorite players growing up, and I kind of just migrated to the Yankees. Dallas Cowboys fan. I grew up in the Austin area when I was young, so it's just Cowboys is the only football team I knew. And then with the Mavericks, I'll be honest with you, NBA is the only time I've ever switched. So my real name is Jordan Michael. So I was named after Michael Jordan. So I was a diehard Chicago Bulls fan.
That's cool, dude.
And so, as a kid, everything was Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan. So when he retired, I was like, the Bulls, their Bulls still haven't won anything since he's left. But I was looking for a new team. And back then, NBA Jam was one of the hot video games out. Yeah. And so I was like, I told one of my friends, I'm going to cheer from the worst team, and that's going to become my new favorite team. Well, it happened just to be the Dallas Mavericks back when they had like Sean Bradley and, those type of guys. And so I just picked the Mavericks randomly, and I've been rolling with them ever since. So I've been a diehard Mavs fan since then. So that's it. And then when it comes to Yankees, like I said, just influence, playing video games, different things like that. Darryl Strawberry and all those guys, Mariano Rivera, they just grow on me. So
I actually got that pennant at a game I went to at the old Yankee Stadium. I still remember it. It was the Kansas City Royals against the New York Yankees. Brian Bannister was pitching for the Royals. It was Mike Mussina for the Yankees. And Jeter had like 4 singles. He's my all-time favorite player for the Yankees. I believe Bobby Abreu hit a grand slam. If I remember correctly, Alex Rodriguez had a home run. And the Yankees won that game like 14-6.
Sounds about right. Well, you see all the Dallas memorabilia around here, but I actually live in Kansas City, so I'm very familiar with the Royals and got to witness the Royals World Series run. And one of my biggest regrets, I would say, is I had Game 7 tickets for the World Series when the Royals won, and I sold them.
Giants or?
Yeah, that was against San Francisco. Yeah.
Oh, San Francisco won that game.
No, there was 2. We played them twice, back to back.
Right. So Game 6 2015 was against the Mets.
Was it the Mets? Maybe it was the Mets. Was it? I'm trying to remember. Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
But yeah. So anyway, I had tickets to the game for the Game 7 when they actually won here at Kauffman Stadium, but I sold them and didn't go. But
okay. So wait, quick thing before we get back on track. Who's your NHL team? Dallas Stars?
No, I'm kind of a freelancer when it comes to NHL. Like I said, I really don't watch. I've been kind of migrating to the Vegas Knights because I love the city of Vegas. And so a lot of my friends, they live out in Vegas. They've been like, you should become a Knights fan. But then it's like, I might as well just be a Dallas Stars fan because it's a lot easier right there in the Dallas area. So they're recruiting me right now. So maybe next year I'll have that answer for you.
Okay. But let's get back to our main topic, which is my Cleveland Browns traveling to Jerry's World to take on your Dallas Cowboys. So how are you feeling about your Cowboys through the first 3 weeks? Do you feel like this game against the Browns is a must-win, or how are you feeling?
Well, I won't say it's a must-win in the grand scheme of things. I say it's a must-win as far as the transition from the Jason Garrett to the Mike McCarthy era. I feel like I don't want, because it's a Browns channel, but I feel like winnable games that we should win. I feel like Mike McCarthy is coming in to limit these mistakes to actually win these games. Typically in the past, we've had those blunders of teams that we were more talented than, and we lost. So we go back to last year when we lost to the Jets, and there was the game against Chicago, and then also the Bills. Different games like that, which were very winnable games, we tend to lose. And so I would say it's a must-win in the scheme of showing that Mike McCarthy is different from Jason Garrett. Granted, you mentioned earlier, the start that we've had hasn't been a hot flashing start, but I'm very okay with what I've seen so far from the Dallas Cowboys in this team. I'm perfectly fine, but I feel like if we were to lose on Sunday, then that might cause Cowboys Nation to have a state of panic. And so I'm looking to see a different Cowboys teams on Sunday, actually the offense and defense come to play, and we can really show our full capability and the full capacity.
Hold on, just adjusting my camera a bit.
Uh-huh.
There we go. So I've watched a fair amount of the Cowboys, actually, because I watched your Sunday night game against the Rams, and I watched as much of the Seahawks game last week as I could.
So let me ask you a quick question. You watched the game against the Rams. Was that an offensive pass interference?
Oh, I knew you were going to ask that. I knew it.
Oh, yeah. It's okay. It's okay. You can say it. You can say it. Just say it.
No,
Okay.
I don't. I tried to think. It's such a ticky-tack call. Like,
exactly.
Right. So
his arm was hooked. There was a
right.
flop. There was, yeah, exactly.
Jalen. Okay, I'll say it like this. Jalen Ramsey was really good at acting.
He was. He's a great actor. That's why he got paid that money. So that's when I say we should be 3-0. I mean, if you think about it, even if we take that field goal, that first game against the Rams and tie it up 2020, who knows what happens in that state in the game.
Right.
And also, if they don't call that bogus penalty, we still win that game in a lot of people's eyes. And so that puts us at 1-0. And then, whatever happened against Atlanta, it happened. We win that game. So the Falcons are going to Falcons.
Stop you real quick. They shouldn't even be called the Atlanta Falcons. They should just be called the Atlanta Chokers.
Right.
Seriously.
Right. Yeah. But here's the funny thing about that game. If you go back and you follow me on Twitter at JTuck151, I was the only Cowboys fan staying positive during that whole debacle versus Atlanta. And I feel like the reason why is because I know how explosive this offense can be, which we'll probably talk about here soon. So
yes, we definitely will address that because I feel like our teams have two very different philosophies of offense, and we're actually going to dive into that because week 1, I don't think we even got off the plane in Baltimore.
Exactly.
I think our practice squad was out there or something. But week 2 and week 3, granted, week 2 was Cincinnati, and they don't have that great of a team.
Right.
I'm sorry, Jazzy TV, but you don't. Which I'm not letting you off the hook. My Browns beat your Bengals at the start of our video in week 7. You got to pay off your bet.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So what was the bet?
He has to do the Cleveland Browns chant. Yeah.
That's what I like to hear.
Maybe hey, if you're interested, we can add a little bit of incentive to this game. I don't know.
All right. Yeah, we can do it. So here, this is what I'll bring to the table.
I don't do anything for money, just so you know.
No money.
That's not my style.
No, I don't like money. I like pride on the line. So what we'll do, because I have one, because one of your past quarterbacks, even though he was there for a hot stint, he was one of my favorite quarterbacks. So,
Brandon Whedon?
No.
Johnny Manziel.
Yeah. So if the Cleveland Browns win, then I'll wear a Cleveland Browns shirt and hat, and then I'll do your chant on my channel.
Okay.
And then if we win, then you have to represent the Cowboys.
I don't have anything Dallas Cowboys.
Look at you. We're America's team. You can find it. I believe it. I believe it. Yeah. So,
I knew you were going to come back with that.
Well, you can find it easily. So you can find some Cowboys gear and then go on your channel and say, how about those Cowboys? Deal?
I don't know if you see, but I have little pennants for every team. So I do have a Cowboys pennant.
There you go.
That's literally the only Cowboys thing I have.
Okay. So you got to hold the pennant up on your show and say 10 great things about the Dallas Cowboys.
And great things about the Cowboys. All right. So if we win, you guys dress up in Cleveland Brown stuff and support the Browns for, at the beginning of your channel. And if the Cowboys win, I'll take down that pennant, hold it up, and say, do 10 great things about the Cowboys.
There we go. Deal.
We got a deal?
We got a deal.
All right. Virtually shake on it.
Virtually shake. There you go.
Cool. All right. So now that we have a little bit of extra stuff on the line, I'm going to be rooting.
They better show up. Cowboys better show up.
Huh?
So the Cowboys better show up now.
Oh, you mean the Browns better show up? I don't want to have to say anything nice about your damn Cowboys. No. But I'm not going to be a hater like Stephen A. Smith. I'm not going to do that. I got to talk about that for 1 second before we get into the actual preview. I love that Skip Bayless on Undisputed is just diehard Cowboys, and if the Cowboys lose, he just spews with like venom. And if the Cowboys win, Stephen A. Smith shows up as Southern Stephen A. with the cigar and the hat. Yeah. How do you feel about what do you feel like the perspective is towards your team? Do you feel like there's more people that hate your team? Do you feel like there's more people that love your team? How do you feel about that?
Well, first and foremost, I want to say to everyone watching, Skip Bayless isn't a Dallas Cowboys fan. Cowboys fans do not tolerate Skip, and especially after what he did the other day, we don't have him. He's not part of us.
Wow, you're kicking Steve. You're kicking.
He never was. If you go back, he wrote a tell-all book about the Cowboys a long time ago. Talking about how Troy Aikman was different things and calling out Jimmy Johnson. So he's always just been that little nagging gnat. You ever been on a picnic and it's like a little fly that keeps just flying around? And you really want to swat it, but you really can't get your hand on it? That's Skip Bayless. And he uses the Cowboys team, because we're America's team, as coverage, because we keep the lights on. We just got to be honest here. That's why you have Stephen A. and you have Skip Bayless talk so frequently about the Cowboys. And why do people watch the show? Because either you love the Cowboys or you hate the Cowboys, and so you tune in for those two opposing sides. Now, I will say this. When it comes to the Cowboys, I think it's more love than hate. Because I traveled to Japan, I've been to Thailand, I've been many different places, and no matter where I've been, I've seen people who recognize this star or they're actually wearing the star. I was over in Thailand, and found Cowboys fans over in Thailand. In the United Kingdom, we have a massive Cowboys group.
So do we.
Yeah, well, yeah, but so we're pretty much everywhere. And so I think when it comes to Cowboys fans, either you love us or you hate us, but you're going to watch. So that's all Jerry really cares about.
Fair enough. Now, I don't think the orange helmet is a logo. Browns fans might think I'm nuts, but I feel like it's almost the same way. Like, if you see the orange helmet, it's the Cleveland Browns.
Kinda.
No, I'm not saying it's the same thing as the Cowboy star.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, but it's the Cleveland Brown. Yeah, you see the helmet.
Yeah,
exactly.
But I know there's a big contingency of Browns fans in various countries and stuff like that. So, but let's get into this game now, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
So we kind of addressed this earlier, but our two teams have very different styles of offense. You guys are more of a throw the set up the pass, I would say. Whereas, because you have Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, Jedrick Wilson. I'm sure I'm missing some, but and Michael Gallup. There we go.
Yeah.
Whereas we're kind of a old-fashioned style offensive. Don't have Baker Mayfield throw the ball. Excuse me. My mind's ahead of my mouth. Don't let Baker Mayfield throw the ball more than 30 times a game. Give the ball to Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, which I'm not sure if Kareem Hunt's going to be healthy for this game, so that could be an advantage for you. And, set up the play action game with receivers like a Jarvis Landry, like an Odell Beckham Jr., like a tight end such as Bryant, I forget his first name, or Austin Hooper, David Njoku, So I feel like our two teams go about it very different. So for you, I would say in order to stop our offense, it's more on your defensive line. For us, in order to stop your offense, it's more about our cornerbacks and safeties. You get do you get it? Or
I see where you're going, and I'll say this, Josh. I would say I see what you're saying from the standpoint of what you've seen from us in the past 3 games.
sure.
But my rebuttal would be to that. I think we're very similar. And what Dallas is trying to do, we're trying to establish the run initially. I feel like the games, you go back to the Rams game, because that's pretty much the only even kill game you can really watch. But that's what we did. We came out with the run. We got Zeke going. So that's what we're trying to do. We're wanting to get Zeke going and momentum to set the play action and use the wide receiving core that you just mentioned. If you go to Atlanta, well, we fumbled in the first quarter like 4 or 5 times. So we really had no choice but to go to an air attack. And then also against Seattle, they did a great job on stopping the run. And so we really had no choice. So I think the transition from Jason Garrett to Mike McCarthy, granted the offense is a little bit different, but I think the main focus, and a lot of people don't understand this, it relies around Ezekiel Elliott, this guy back here, first and foremost. Now the difference is this season, if you do stop 21, then that's where you have to worry about everything else. But I think tomorrow you're going to see a lot of Ezekiel Elliott initially. And so, but you guys have a solid defensive line, but we're going to come out and try to run the ball. Hopefully, what I've been preaching on my show is doing what you guys are doing with Kareem Hunt and then also with Chubb by using Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard as more of a dual run back system, because we've been leaning on Ezekiel Elliott way too heavy in these first 3 games. So give different looks, give different opportunities for both running backs. And then once you guys start to bring up your safeties and different things like that, that opens up the downfield opportunities. So I see why you would say that. And a lot of people are saying that because Dak's been throwing 50 times a game, but I don't think that's the ideal of offense that we want to establish in Dallas right now.
So how many times do you feel like Dak should throw the ball tomorrow?
I would say give or take about 30. 30 should be max.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you feel like it should be kind of in the same range as what I said with Baker then?
Exactly. Now, other Cowboys fans, they get caught up in the allure of what they see in Kansas City. They want the air attack. They want the air raid. They want throwing 50 times a game. I personally, because also we have to take into consideration, though he might be back on Sunday, I believe, Tyron Smith, our starting left tackle, the past 2 weeks, he's been out. Our right tackle, Collins, has been out. And so we've been playing with undrafted free agents and rookies and different things like that, the tackle position. And with you guys, with your defensive line and that monster and Myles Garrett, if we're sitting back, dropping back 7-step drops all day, he's going to get pressure to Dak Prescott, and he can definitely change the momentum of a game.
I was just about to say, you better hope Tyron Smith is back,
exactly.
Or else Myles Garrett is just going to eat Dak Prescott for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Exactly, because even if you go back to it, granted, I mentioned I'm a Johnny Manziel fan. Zach Martin had to be moved out to right tackle, last game because our starting right tackle, Terrence Steele, was just getting his lunch eaten. And so you can't do that with Cleveland. So I looked for Mike McCarthy and Kellen Moore to try to establish the run, get things moving, and then open up the pass, take the opportunities give you in that regard. If we come out just airing the ball out, I'm not a fan of that style of football in Dallas.
Okay, so you kind of want so based on what I'm hearing from you, you kind of want the Cowboys to almost mirror what we've started to establish. Is that correct?
Exactly. So one of my key takeaways how to win this game, and I mentioned this on my channel last night, is this game will be won in the trenches on the offensive and the defensive side of the ball. So whether your defensive line is able to overcome our offensive line or vice versa, because our defensive line, we have to get pressure on Baker Mayfield. Now, granted, I was raised a Cowboys fan, but for some reason, my mother is the biggest Baker Mayfield fan on the planet. We were actually supposed to be in Dallas because she wanted to see Baker Mayfield for her birthday. But
so I have a question. Would she have been wearing a Baker Mayfield Browns jersey then?
I would have not allowed that. She would have been she didn't have been Cowboys head to toe, but she would probably been silent clapping for Baker Mayfield. She loves Baker Mayfield. That is her guy.
But she wouldn't have been rooting for the Browns.
No, not rooting for the Browns. Just for Baker. Just for Baker.
So, or is it that you wouldn't have allowed her to root?
I wouldn't. No, you can't come to me with me at AT&T Stadium and cheer for the opposing team. Are you kidding me? No,
Wait,
no,
so,
no, no,
so
no.
if you and I were to go to a Cowboys game, you wouldn't allow me to root for the opposing team?
Well, you're a Browns fan. You're a Browns fan, but not my own mother, not my own flesh and blood.
Oh, I
Yeah,
get it.
yeah.
I
Oh
get
no,
it.
no, no. So
Okay.
you're cool. You can do your work for your team, but not my mom. No.
So who do you think who's the X factor on our offense that you're watching out for?
I'm really watching for Nick Chubb. I think he is the engine of your total offense. Watching film on him, Nick Chubb is very patient as a runner. And if you give him those cutback lanes and you're not keeping your proper gap assignments, he can take it the distance. And also, Kareem Hunt, like I said, I live here in Kansas City, so I was able to see Kareem Hunt before you guys were able to get him in that move. But he's also a dynamic running back. So, but I think as far as when I think about your offense, it starts with Nick Chubb. Just like for us, it starts with Ezekiel Elliott. I feel like if we can stop Nick Chubb, kind of limit him, then that kind of allows our defense to get momentum. I'd rather lose to Baker Mayfield than lose to Nick Chubb.
Okay. And what about, so you say Nick Chubb is the X factor, but who's that guy that on the Browns offense that you feel like maybe could catch you guys off guard? Like, because I know I'm sure when the Cowboys were watching film of us, they were watching OBJ, Jarvis Landry, Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb. So is there a guy on our offense that you're like, maybe the Cowboys didn't study up on him enough? You get what I'm saying?
I won't say, a guy that can catch us by surprise. I would probably say your tight end Hooper. But if I had to pick on a guy that's going to have an impact tomorrow, I would say Odell Beckham Jr. One, because he's very familiar with us in Dallas, and so he's played against us numerous times when he was with the Giant. And secondly, we all seen it, our secondary has been all over the place, whether it's a lack of communication. We have some injuries, some guys nicked up. Even though Trayvon Diggs has played well, you mentioned the DK Metcalf fumble, he got beat deep. And so, Odell Beckham, we all know him. He loves the lights. He loves the glam. He knows he's going to be in Jerry's World tomorrow with fans screaming. The lights are going to be on him. Expect a big game from him. And then from a fantasy point of view, I hope to expect not a big game, but a decent game from Jarvis Landry as well.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So are you pretty ready for Jarvis then?
Just a few catches. It's just a few catches. Nothing too crazy, But yeah, you still have to respect those guys, even though they're getting older in their career. Now I know Odell Beckham is a little bit banged up, and so is Landry. But like I said, with our secondary, there's been wide open touchdowns from game 1 to game 3, where there's a lack of communication. And so we give up those plays, it could definitely be a long day for the Cowboys.
Okay. And I guess if you're posing the same question to me, right, the X factor I'm looking at is actually Michael Gallup. Because Dak seems to have the best chemistry with him over CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper and who's Wilson, right? Yeah. And that's probably due in part because, Gallup has been with Dak the longest. Mm-hmm. So do I expect the Browns to, double team Michael Gallup? No, because if you double team Michael Gallup, you're putting yourself in danger of getting beat by CeeDee Lamb or an Amari Cooper. And the problem we have is I don't think Denzel Ward is healthy yet. Right. So I don't know what cornerback or safety we can put on your receivers. Because if Denzel Ward was healthy, we usually put him on our opponent's best receiver. Like, when we've played Cincinnati in the past, I've seen him play against AJ Green, or I'm trying to think of other matchups we've had. But you get my point. Mm-hmm. So I feel like we're going to pay special attention to Gallup, Cooper, and CeeDee Lamb, which I'm not totally sure why you guys drafted another wide receiver.
For the reason you just mentioned. For the exact reason you just mentioned. If you think about it, you're sitting back doing a scouting report and you want to take away a wide receiver, who do you pick? Because like you said, if you guys were to double Michael Gallup, let's say, I'm fully confident in Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb taking whatever matchup you give him. So when you have a player that dynamic that falls to you at 17th in the NFL draft, you take him without any hesitation. Because
Even though it doesn't fill a need?
It filled a drastic need. Because you think about it, what we've lost. So we had Amari Cooper, we had Michael Gallup. Previously, we had Cole Beasley. We lost Cole Beasley to Buffalo. Then
Right.
we lost Randall Cobb. So we were really kind of in limbo when it comes to that third receiver, even with Amari Cooper being nicked up a little bit last year. So if he was to go down, I mean, you have Michael Gallup and Cedric Wilson and a bunch of unproven guys. And so CeeDee Lamb really fills that void. And now it really makes teams pick their poison. And I always say, do you want the combo meal? Do you want the Zeke special, or do you want the wide receiver number 3? Like whichever one, kind of pick your poisons, which actually makes our offense a lot more dynamic. Kind of granted what you see in Kansas City.
See, I feel like Cowboys fans feel like, with the whole contract situation and all that, feel like Dak Prescott should be paid like a Patrick Mahomes. And I'm like, he's a good quarterback, but he's not quite at Mahomes' level. I would say, Mahomes and Lamar Jackson are tier 1. Maybe you could put like a Ben Roethlisberger in there, perhaps, for his career. I'm not saying specifically this season.
Right.
But I would put Dak at like tier 1A. Right. Is that a fair assessment, or do you think?
Yeah, kinda. So I would retweak it a little bit.
Mahomes
is up here. Like he's my number 1 guy, Mahomes, even though you can go Russell Wilson, whatever.
Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, okay, that's up there. But if you sit back and I'm Dak Prescott, and I sit back, okay, not Mahomes money, but I just saw what Deshaun Watson just got, and you really can't place Deshaun Watson on a level higher than Dak Prescott. When you look at
why do you say that?
When you look at it statistically wise, Dak Prescott outperforms Watson. When you look at win percentage wise, Dak Prescott outperforms Watson. Playoff wins, they got the same playoff wins, division titles. And so if you think about it, Deshaun Watson came off last year blowing that huge lead that he had against Kansas City in the playoffs. He blew that lead.
That wasn't his fault entirely. That was also Bill O'Brien.
But here's the thing. So when people say that it wasn't Deshaun Watson's fault or Bill O'Brien, but no one gives that same sympathy to Dak Prescott having Jason Garrett. I mean, we've already seen Daniel Jones come out in week 3 and say the offense is way too predictable. Well, yeah, welcome to the Jason Garrett era. So that's just how things are. And so no one wants to take that into consideration. But when you look at everything from the capacity of being a leader, Dak Prescott was a 4th-round draft pick who wasn't even going to make the team. He was battling for a practice squad position. What happened? Romo got hurt. Kellen Moore got hurt. And he was battling with Jamil Stowers. And he eventually won his position and hasn't let go since he got it. He's been a proven leader. He's won playoff games. He's proved he can shoot out with the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Even his rookie season went toe-to-toe with Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs. I mean, you see what he's done thus far. It's like, as a quarterback, what else do you need to see from Dak Prescott? And I feel like
if Dak, playoff success?
He has playoff success.
Yeah, but has he won? He's been to the playoffs, but has he actually won in the playoffs?
Yeah, he did. 2018, he beat the Seattle
against
Seahawks.
The Seahawks. You're right.
Yeah, exactly.
You're right. I forgot about that.
And you think about it, we would have beat his rookie season. He would have beat the Packers, but we gave up a 4th and 20, I think it was 4th and 20 to Aaron Rodgers. And
the Packers just seem to be your boogeyman.
Yeah, the boogeyman. That's what I'm saying. Hopefully Mike McCarthy can reshift that mojo. We'll see. But it's like, yeah, for everything you want to see from Dak Prescott, he's proven it. And like I've been saying all off season, there's been a lot of Dallas Cowboys players who received a big paycheck and really didn't deserve it. If anyone deserves to be overpaid, it's Dak Prescott.
Fair. I can't really say where Baker Mayfield fits in because he's so far been like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde through his first 2 years. So whereas Dak has been fairly consistent.
Right.
He's had ups and downs throughout his career, but I wouldn't say his ups and downs have been as drastic as Baker Mayfield, where Baker comes in in week 3, Thursday Night Football against the Jets, which I was at that game because I do have season tickets, like I mentioned. It's unfortunate that Baker came in to that game because Tyrod Taylor got injured, but that's not my point. My point is Baker comes in, plays well for that game, and then plays fairly consistent for the rest of that season. You know, took some bruises, but for the most part played well. And then, you know, we saw how well he did in his rookie year with Freddie Kitchens. So Freddie Kitchens gets promoted to head coach, which I thought was a horrible, horrible move. Because Freddie Kitchens went from like either quarterbacks coach or running backs coach, one of the two, to interim offensive coordinator, not even full-time offensive coordinator, interim offensive coordinator, to head coach in a span of like 8 months. So not even a full year. And so, you know, last year we acquire Odell Beckham Jr., which I'm still skeptical about whether that was a good trade for us or not. I kind of liked the receiving core we had in 2018, but you can't change the past.
Right.
I'm sure the Seahawks would like to do that for Super Bowl 49.
Yeah, exactly.
Should have run the damn ball.
Right.
But, you know, and the Browns are put on like 4 or 5 primetime games. And, you know, Baker just looked very inconsistent throughout the year. He would hold on to the ball and like look around and like it seemed like he became very indecisive and like, you know, that was partially on Freddie Kitchens. Like, what are you doing calling a draw play on 4th and 9 against the Rams? Or like, we get close to the goal line in that same Sunday night game against the Rams. And do we run the ball once? No. I think we passed it on all 4 downs. And that was a very winnable game. And, you know, so I can't put all the blame on Baker for last season, but there were times where he could have put us in a position to, I don't want to say cancel out the Freddie Kitchen talks, but like at least what's the word I'm looking for? Tamper them, if you will. And he failed to do that. And I don't know what it was, but I never saw that mojo, that swag that I saw from him in his Heisman Trophy year at Oklahoma.
So let me tell you this, and we talk about Dak and we spoke about Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
Let's switch it, okay?
Go ahead.
Dak Prescott is the number 1 drafted quarterback. He comes to the Cleveland Browns. He puts up 4 years of what he's done thus far. The Cleveland Browns make Dak Prescott one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL, without a doubt. Would you agree? If he came out, won Rookie of the Year, took you to the playoffs your first year, had a shootout with, let's say, Kansas City and lost by, 3 points, a last-minute field goal, comes around, has a great season. The 3rd season, he gets back to the playoffs, and you guys beat Baltimore in the first round, but then fall short. And then he's throwing for 400 yards. He's one of the top passers in the league. You guys make him one of the high. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Go ahead.
First of all, I wish I could, like, I'm just imagining what that would look like. I mean, we're in an era of social distancing, but the Browns have been social distancing from the Super Bowl since it was invented.
Right. And so I want you to speak to all the Cowboys fans who.
Oh, here we go.
I want them to pay attention because they're probably watching on my channel as well once I post this and reshare it. But I want you to tell them
the link. So
perfect.
You can do that.
I want you to look into the camera and tell them how hard it really is to find a quality quarterback. people think it happens like that. Like, oh, if we lose Dak Prescott, we can plug in this guy. It doesn't happen. Look how it's gone in Cleveland. It's been years to find that consistency at the quarterback position. There's a lot of Dallas Cowboys fans who hate Dak Prescott for no reason when there's other teams who would die to have him. Am I wrong or am I right?
You are 100% correct.
Exactly. That's all I want to say.
No, I want to follow up on that point, though, because you make an interesting point about, like, Jason Garrett and how you guys consistently went 8-8, but you would find playoff success occasionally. Mm-hmm. You know, you touched on all that, and all very valid. Mm-hmm. I'm just imagining what it would be like to have playoff success because we haven't had it since, like, 2002 or something. I don't know.
Exactly. And so if you guys were to draft a quarterback in the first round and he gives you 2 division titles, a playoff win, and a field goal loss to Kansas City, you guys would have been like, know what? This is our quarterback of the future. We're going to lock him in, and we're not going to look back.
And I feel like okay, but it's all, you can't just say it's only on the quarterback. It's also like head coach. Mm-hmm. So like, you know, it's got to be a tandem of is the coach calling the right play, because you generally see the head coach calling the plays, which I don't know how you feel about that, but it's like, what's the point of having an offensive coordinator if it's the head coach calling the plays?
Right.
So you're 100% right about everything you said about Dak Prescott. He should be paid. I don't know, like, if he should be paid like a top-tier quarterback, but he should be paid moderately.
Yeah.
Is that a fair assessment?
Exactly. More than Carson Wentz, more than Jared Goff.
Carson Wentz did not deserve that contract. I'm sorry.
Exactly. And Carson Wentz was a first-round pick, and so was Jared Goff. We've been milking Dak Prescott at a premium price for so long. So granted, it's time for him to put his foot down and get what he deserves, because not only has he performed in the past, we've seen what he's done the past 3 games. And if I'm wrong, and Mike McCarthy's going to have him throwing the ball 50 times a game, then the price is going to go up even higher.
Right.
So
it seems like, here's the weird thing with the Cowboys, from what I've seen of you guys the first 3 games. It seems to take Dak Prescott like sometimes a quarter or sometimes a half to really get going, and, you know, the other team is able to jump up on you quick. Mm-hmm. And then it's like in the 3rd and 4th quarter, when you guys are trailing and trying to get on that comeback train, Dak Prescott turns it on, and I'm just thinking, Dak, I'm saying this as a Browns fan. I'm like, Dak, why didn't you play like this in the first half? I'm sure you.
Yeah, I've been calling it Bruce Banner syndrome. It's like, you know, Dak has to get punched in the mouth first and get angry, and then he turns into this hawk. And it's just like, all right, now we're down by 15. Now I'm really mad. Now I'm going to start airing the ball out. Like, well, why can't you just did this, you know, from the coin flip? But
it makes no sense. But
yeah.
So I've watched your games, like I said, and I can't quite figure out your defense. Are you guys more of because I've seen you play both man-to-man, and I've seen you play zone, and I've seen you guys play a little bit of nickel. I believe you guys have a dime package or 2. So what type of defense should I expect to see from the Cowboys? Should I expect to see a man-to-man defense, some type of zone, a nickel package? Tell me about that.
Yeah, so our defense coming in with Mike Nolan, our defensive coordinator, he's been preaching all offseason, as you've seen the first 3 games, a hybrid defense. And so that's why you've seen some of our players like DeMarcus Lawrence starting to stand up and play stand-up.
He's the one I'm worried most about.
Exactly, but it hasn't been working out. Everson Griffin came out last week. I said he just said he wasn't feeling comfortable doing that, so they put him back into the 3-point stance, and also DeMarcus Lawrence. So I think for Sunday's matchup, you'll see more of a 4-3.
So you think more of a zone?
Yeah, you'll see more of a 4-3 with a little bit zone over top. We try to play a lot of man press, but the reason we struggle with man press is because we don't have safeties that know how to get back and be their job title of playing safety. Like, safety is the safety. In case everything goes wrong, the safety has it. But for some reason, our safeties haven't been over top. We mentioned some of the big plays you saw last week. And so I think you'll see a lot of 4-3 this week. Depending on the situation, we might shift to a 3-4. But I think the Stockton, Chubb, and also Kareem Hunt will play a 4-3. Yeah, hands in the dirt, football with the zone coverage, trying to take those underneath throws that Baker likes to do primarily. But I will say this, the thing about our defense, it's another thing, Bruce Banner syndrome. We start off horrible in the first half, and then second half, we seem to settle in a lot. And so it seems to be on the both sides of the ball.
I was just going to say, how do you feel about that you're for both sides of the ball, it takes you guys like, sometimes even 3 quarters to really get going.
Right.
And then you look up at the scoreboard. It's like, guys, you're down like 21. What are you doing?
Yeah.
And then in the fourth quarter, oh, wow, they've tied it up. So they didn't just die and fall over.
Right.
So,
and so in
why?
the NFL, you can't do that. You can't give big leads to good teams, so you'll lose a large percentage of NFL games. My biggest concern that a lot of people has been overlooking, especially Cowboys fans, is not offense or really defense, it's special teams. If you go through if you go to the past 3 weeks.
GZ, huh?
Yeah. And so, special teams does matter. And go back to the past 3 weeks. Go back to the Rams game. Okay, we have the fake punts, different things like that, missing on that end of the spectrum. Also, when you go back to Atlanta, falling short on those fake punts, different things like that.
The watermelon onside kick.
Well, that saved us. That's their one gold star of the season is the watermelon kick, which 99.9999% of Little League football teams I know, they would have dove on the ball. I don't know what the Falcons were thinking, but we'll take
Maybe
it.
Atlanta thought the ball was suddenly a poison apple.
Exactly. I don't know what they were thinking, but thank goodness they were thinking that. And if you go to last week's game, we have the Tony Pollard fumble on the kickoff where he wanted to come out and get it, but then he wanted to go back, and he kind of hesitated, fumbled it. Dived on it and stopped the ball at the 1-yard line, which eventually led to a safety because we were had no room to maneuver. And then Greg Zuerlein missed 2 extra points, which was costly. And so those are the things and the mistakes that cost us last year. When we had Brett Maurer as our kicker, he was shanking extra points left and right. He'll make a 67-yarder perfectly fine. But the extra point, that's way out of his range.
Right.
And so
we haven't had much better luck when it comes to special teams.
But those things cost you when you're playing good teams. And so a game like Sunday's matchup, which could be back and forth, and when you sink 2 extra points in a field goal, that puts Cleveland back in position to win the game. So I hope we really clean up that aspect of the game.
Right. So I just got a notification from ESPN, Cowboys related.
Oh, breaking news.
It not an injury or anything like that.
Okay.
Tristan Hill got fined for a pair of hits.
Okay.
So the Cowboys defensive lineman got docked for illegal hits on Russell Wilson and Chris Carson.
Okay.
So
I'll take that. I personally, when it comes to Tristan Hill, he was their 2nd-round draft pick last year. A lot of Cowboys fans wrote off as a bust already. And so he's coming in with the chip in his shoulder. He's finally getting the opportunity to play a little bit. And so he's just really locked in on football and playing with a new attitude, a new pep in his step. And when you're out there, you're playing, you're young. He really just barely tapped Russell Wilson in the head. It wasn't anything vicious.
Right.
And I think I know that Chris Carson, they classify as the Gator roll. I mean, you're tackling a grown man by his legs and you're rolling around it just happens. But I like his energy a lot.
Right. So. Which you're talking about pathetic calls and in that AFC Championship, how is that roughing the passer?
Right.
What?
Your thumb grazed his helmet though, so you can't touch his helmet.
Nope.
So,
or
yeah.
But
you can't tackle the quarterback low.
Right.
That's a penalty, and you can't hit him in the helmet. You got to hit him just right with the moving target, like Russell Wilson.
But you would talk about your defense, and you expect you expect the boys to be in a 4-3 defense. You said, right?
Primarily, yeah. I say 4-3 or nickel.
Okay, so are you worried about I think it's both your starting linebackers are injured, so you're gonna have replacement, right?
Yeah, but that happened primarily in the first game. So Sean Lee, he hasn't played all season, and we all know Sean Lee is injury prone.
I actually
Hasn't
have
played.
a signed Sean Lee jersey down in my man cave. I wish I could show it to you, but I'm up in my recording studio.
That's something you can bring out on your next show when you're talking about the Cowboys. So.
No, I'm not going to be talking about the Cowboys.
Yeah, yeah.
You're going to be cheering for my Browns. What are you talking about, buddy?
So, yeah, but yeah,
I'm just
Sean Lee
closing my
is
block
out.
super quick.
Yeah, Sean Lee has been out primarily since the beginning of the season, and then also Leighton Vander Esch went out with the collarbone. And so Leighton Vander Esch hurts a lot because we had high expectations for him. He was out last season. And so, but to be honest with you, with the Cowboys, these two injuries is something we kind of expected. So I think our linebacker core is starting to improve a little bit. Jalen Smith still needs to rein in a little bit. He's trying to take over the middle linebacker position, but
another guy Jerry paid before Dak.
Yeah, pay before exactly. Our right tackle who's been out, who came to camp out of shape and now is out possibly for the rest of the season. He got paid before Dak. So a lot of people got paid before Dak. And so Jalen Smith has been kind of over the place, been a lot of sporadic. So I think Joe Thomas is a guy that has been stepping in, playing great thus far. But the linebacker
have a Joe Thomas, and one of our famous players is Joe Thomas.
Joe Thomas, exactly. I know Joe Thomas, especially from Madden. But he is one. Yeah, he is one of the players that's been stepping at the linebacker position. We brought up a guy who has been on the practice squad, Francis Bernard. He had a great training camp, but for some reason he hasn't been active this season. So hopefully we can kind of see him step in and own those reins. But yeah, even this offseason, man, I had a huge question mark on the linebacker position because of the lack of depth position. I just didn't think it was going to happen this soon, right out the gate. And so here we are.
That's why I feel like we might use our tight ends more in this game
to
expose that weakness because we've been doing a pretty good job of involving both our receivers and tight ends, and maybe Odell does go off this game because it's the Cowboys and he's like, I'm in Jerry's world, I need to show up and show out. But I don't be surprised if Austin Hooper, I think David Njoku is playing this game. I'm not 100% sure about that. And our third tight end, Bryant, I wouldn't be surprised if any of them have a big game because we might be able to expose that weakness of yours.
Yeah, I agree. Like if you guys, and that's why it's important. I go back to the trenches. We need our defensive line to be able to apply pressure. But if we're letting Baker Mayfield sit back in the pocket or buy extra time with his feet, then it's pretty much close your eyes and pray that he didn't find someone wide open. Because a lot of those catches you and myself could have made, especially last Sunday.
That's one of the things I'm actually worried about with Dak is you guys. He's good at not only extending plays, but if you guys get close to the goal line, I've seen you guys a bunch of times just go, okay, Dak, you run it in yourself.
Right. Dak Prescott is a big quarterback. I mean, but the same thing with Baker Mayfield. I mean, I watched him in Big 12 country. He can make plays with his feet as well.
Right, so, but we don't really call quarterback draws for him.
Right, for him, exactly. It's not really called.
For Dak.
But those plays can change the momentum of a game where it's 3rd and 3 and, we have Chubb taken care of. We have the wide receivers locked up, and then all of a sudden Baker Mayfield scoots out and runs for the first down and different things like that. So,
right.
I mean, heck, Matt Ryan was able to do it against Atlanta. So we definitely have to limit those plays. But I think Sunday's going to be a great matchup. I'm excited to see. Like I said, it's not the Cleveland Browns we're used to see. We eventually knew the Cleveland Browns were going to get some kind of momentum due to all the roster moves they were making. But now the key advantage I give Cleveland over Dallas is you guys know your identity. You guys know what you're going to do.
Yes.
We all know what you're going to do. Right now, I have no clue. I'm hoping I know what we're going to do, but we might come out and I might send you a message like, hey, man, we threw the ball like 60 times that game, and I had no idea. So I just feel like the Cowboys are still trying to find their identity. We won't really see who we really are. I would say probably it's around week 6, week 7, give or take. That's when things start to settle in for us.
So this is your first. This is our second game against the NFC East. This is your first game against the AFC North, right?
Yeah, first, yeah.
Okay. So, what's your overall take on the AFC North?
Yeah, it's a great division. I would think it's very top heavy. I would say that with the Steelers and also Baltimore. I personally am a more believer in the Steelers for the long term than I am for Baltimore. But granted, you can't take any away from that defense. And also, we did mention Lamar Jackson, even though he struggled against Kansas City. So I feel like when it really comes down to the grand scheme of things in the playoffs, the AFC Championship will be represented by AFC North and the AFC West, of course, which will be Kansas City. Will it be the Steelers or Baltimore? That's still to be unseen. I think the Steelers are the next AFC North opponent we have after you guys. But that's a little bit down the line. So, but yeah, the Steelers are the cream of the crop. I like Mike Tomlin, what he represents and what the Steelers represent. They're not America's team.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not
Yes,
America's team by far. No,
and,
they're not.
And I'm saying that as a Browns fan. Browns fans are probably looking at me going,
they're far from America's team. Here's the thing. Did you know Stephen A. Smith is a Steelers fan?
I did know that.
And he never talks about them on the show, though. Why? Because no one will watch. He rarely talks about them.
But I knew this animosity was going to be there because I'm sorry. I'm just going to say it. This is nothing against you, but the Cowboys are the team I hate the most in the NFC.
Fair enough. But that's how it is. That's how it always will be. Like, even when we're horrible, if we're horrible and we're 0-16, well, you're laughing up, you're excited, and you're tuning in every Sunday to watch the Cowboys lose. And then if we're winning, everyone's tuning in to watch us play. Like, that's the big ticket. That's we keep those lights on.
I'm actually surprised this is a 1:00 game.
1 o'clock. And I know we're on a Cleveland channel, so I don't want to clown you guys so much.
No,
but I'll say
go ahead if you want to. Go ahead.
We're only a 1 o'clock game because we're playing you guys. That's the only reason why.
Oh, come on! Wait a minute. Our game against Indianapolis is a 4:30 game next week. This isn't as high profile of a game as Dallas is.
There's probably nothing going on that week. So when's that game?
Next week.
I think we play the Giants next week. So, but yeah, this is not America's game of the week. This isn't.
We're a more high-profile game than the Giants.
Yeah. I would say now you guys are, because typically we start our season off with the Giants, and which I wish this season we would have, so that way we can kind of get some preseason reps, as I will say. But I guess we're only really playing at noon because we're playing the Browns. So like games like this, I kind of expect, but. Normally, these are games, I kind of snooze around on Sunday and kick my feet up and not press. Not this Sunday, because I feel like you guys are a formidable opponent. I made that mistake last year against the Jets, and so it's all fully locked in and on Sunday.
Hey, I mean, we're 2-1, which I think I mentioned this earlier. First time we've been over 500 since 2014. We've put up 30-plus points for the first time since 2010.
Right.
And I'm just like, what is this? Like, are we actually becoming a team?
It's called playing Cincinnati and the Washingtons early in the season.
I see how it is. You're not going to give us the full credit.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm just trying to help you guys out, Cleveland, because I went through it last year. Last year, if you remember, the Cowboys started off 3-0. And why did we start off 3-0? Because we had the Giants,
the Dolphins,
in the Washington team.
Or I'm sorry, Dolphins isn't good enough. Dolphins.
Yeah. And so we started off with the Giants, then we played Washington, then we had the Dolphins, and we started off 3-0, and we started poking our chest out, and then bam, here comes the Saints.
Whoa. Right. If only you guys could have played the Saints this year.
Yeah. So
because Drew Brees and Michael Thomas, or Drew Brees and Sean Payton, don't seem to be anywhere near each other.
Yeah, I think this is getting the end for them, but we hope to see the Saints down the road. Seahawks, Green Bay. That's the measuring stick that we're trying to measure our season off of. This year, winning the division isn't enough. We need to make a deep run in the playoffs. That's the expectation for Mike McCarthy. Year one is to get us over the Jason Garrett hump. If we go 8-8, we could have just kept Jason Garrett, but kept doing the same exact thing. So
so you wanted to see your Cowboys go 11-5, 10-6, 12-4, something.
Yeah, I had us 10-6, 9-7, give or take.
I have 9-7 for the Browns as well.
Yeah.
And we make the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we're going to be late bloomers, win the division, but I hope we're playing our best football in December and January, not in October. So
Right. So let's get to score predictions.
Okay.
So I am a Browns fan, but if I don't think the Browns are going to win, I will not pick them.
Okay.
However, granted, we beat Cincinnati and we beat Washington,
Right.
but it's not. I'm not picking the Browns because of the teams we've beaten. I'm picking the Browns because we seem like we found an identity, whereas you guys seem to be in a little bit of flux. Like you don't totally know, and you talked about this earlier. You don't know if you're a running team, a run first team, or are you a pass first team? So because of that, I'm going to say the Browns moved to 3-1 for the first time in like forever, I think. 31-27. So close game. I'm sure you're going to pick the Cowboys. I don't think it's going to be a blowout either way. So that's why I'm giving us a 4-point win. I think it's a 4-point win.
That's
4.
That's fair. So I would say this to that. Granted, we don't have an identity, but I do know one thing for sure. We are explosive, and we've shown that all 3 games, especially on the offensive side of the ball. And so my prediction for this game, and I said it last night, I have the Cowboys winning 31-24.
So just a little bit different.
Yeah, a little bit different. Yeah, I think it'll be a high-scoring game because, as we both mentioned, our secondaries are big question marks. And if either side can protect our quarterbacks, I feel like they can do a lot of things, especially in the pass game. Now, the thing that kind of helps my side of the case is that you guys really aren't a passing team per se. So if we can stop the run, make Baker Mayfield really make those decisions, maybe we can force a turnover here and there. But like I said, for the past 3 weeks, there's been wide open throws you and I could have made. So that's my biggest concern, but hopefully we can clean those things up.
Right.
I think this is going to be a high scoring game. I think both teams are going to come to play. Like I said, at the end of the day, the Browns do have talent, and they're starting to mesh together. Because, like I said, with Myles Garrett and Richardson and those guys on the defensive line,
Vernon,
they can cause havoc. So I definitely have to be aware. So I think it's going to be 31-24 Cowboys in a good game on Sunday at noon that the entire world will be watching because we're America's team.
No, it's the Steelers. And I'm a Browns fan saying that. So Browns fans are going to probably watch this video and be like, what the heck are you doing? Say good things about the Steelers.
Right. Just let them have it.
just let them have it. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm nice to my fellow YouTubers. Like, we're trying to build a community here.
Nicer than me. I would never say that about the Eagles. I don't care. Never.
Okay. Look, I've been calling them the wrong name. They're not the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're the Pittsburgh Squealers.
Gotcha.
They're not the Baltimore Ravens. They're the Baltimore Ratbirds. And they are definitely not the Cincinnati Bengals. They are the Cincinnati Bungles.
There you go.
The Bungles are actually the team I hate the most in the AFC North because they are just a flat-out dirty team.
Okay.
Yeah. I actually respect the Squealers the most in our division. Right. They've just done it the right way. Perhaps that's why I'm saying they're America's team because, Art Rooney, from the top all the way to the bottom, the Steelers just do it the right way.
Yeah, I agree. And I joke about this all the time. Like, if you were like do like a, let's say like an analysis of me as a person, what I represent, and it kind of matched me up with the team, I feel like my team would be the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like, I love their toughness. I love their work ethic. No matter what, if they have injuries across the board, they're always going to be competitive. They play hard. They fight hard. And so, like, if I had a secondary team, it would be the Steelers. But I'm a Cowboys fan, diehard Cowboys fan, true to my blue and silver. So we'll definitely.
It's such an interesting color combination that you guys have of blue and silver. I gotta admit, that's one of the things I love about the Cowboys is your colors. You keep it simple. Okay, there's 2 things I actually do like about the Cowboys.
Okay.
Your color scheme.
You're gonna need 8 more here in the next week.
Hey, don't jump ahead. Don't get ahead of yourself, buddy. Don't do that. Don't do that. But the other thing I actually really like about the Cowboys is the fact that even though you have a designated home jersey, you're like, screw that. We're going to wear our away jerseys and allow our fans to see, the opponents in their home jerseys. Although you won't see us in our home jerseys on Sunday, we are wearing our Color Rush jerseys.
Ooh, is that the orange?
It's like all brown or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's those are the two primary things about the Cowboys that I like. Hopefully I don't have to try and come up with 8 more. Please, God, let the Browns win. I don't have to say 10 things I like about the Cowboys. Please.
Exactly.
I'll go to temple at some point. I'll pray. I'll do the Amidah Shema on Sunday if that's what you need me to do. I'm a Jew, so
there you go.
I'm a Jew. I had to throw it.
Yeah, and also there's market research. I think Jerry Jones. I mean, it's a gift and a curse when it comes to the color schemes and everything you said, because a lot of people said that our uniforms are the most recognizable uniforms.
100%.
But I want more flash. So my favorite Cowboys jerseys are Thanksgiving, the old Troy Aikman with the large stars on it. And
I love.
Yeah, but Jerry will not go back to those for some reason. So he likes things simple. I'm kind of like the Steelers because I like the old-fashioned, the white helmet stars in 1960.
Yeah.
I thought they're going to bring them out this year, but no. So it's just very vanilla. But like I said, it's very recognizable.
Wait, so I have a question. Let's go back to the schedule conversation for just a sec. If we need to wrap up, just let me know.
I got about 10 more minutes. I'm going to hop on a show. Actually, I'm doing another show here soon with some more Brown bloggers too as well. So
that's funny. But I'm glad we could make this work. 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. Having a blast.
And I will definitely email you a link so you can post this video and give it whatever title you want.
Perfect.
I'll post this channel on my video. Yep. That totally makes sense. No, but what I was going to say is there were fans actually before the schedule came out saying, oh, the Browns are at the Cowboys. Maybe that game will be on Thanksgiving because last year you guys played Buffalo on Thanksgiving. So are you surprised that this game fell on week 4 and not Thanksgiving or?
So let me take. I forgot, who did we end up getting for Thanksgiving?
Washington,
yeah, and so that's a kind of a boring Thanksgiving game,
right? And like I said, you guys got Buffalo on Thanksgiving last year, so I'm thinking, I understand why it's not a 1 o'clock or why it's a 1 o'clock game. We're not a high profile team yet,
right. Not yet,
but so maybe that's why you guys got a divisional foe. But are you at all surprised that this game is this early?
Not really. I think it kind of fits with our schedule. As I'm looking through the schedule right now, like I said, you guys could have had the Thanksgiving game, because even if you go off of last year, knowing what Washington brings to the table, I feel like that's not really an exciting Thanksgiving matchup. Now, I was as a Cowboys fan, and as I look at that, I'm like, okay, great. I can finally kind of enjoy a Thanksgiving with my family, knock on woods, without being so stressed. Like I said, we lost to Buffalo last year, so hopefully we handle business this year. Yeah, I would see maybe switching you guys around to maybe being like where the Bengals are. We played Bengals on December 13th. I would thought because the whole Joe Burrow hype, maybe they were going to get that out early. Having this the Cowboys before that kind of fades out. So
I'm surprised this game is early, but I'll let you.
Continue. And so, but I think it kind of fits. I would probably swap you guys with the Bengals because I feel like at the end of the year, you guys will be trending up and the Bengals will be trending down. So from that standpoint, I feel like the viewership would be a lot higher if it was the Bengals this week because of the whole Joe Burrow situation before that flame burns out. I'm not high on Joe Burrow. I know it's a Cleveland show, so I'm just not a fan. I don't think he's going to be what everyone expects him to be.
Well, So that's the only reason I was criticizing the fact that it's a 1 o'clock game. I understand,
let's see what it. Bengals are a 1:00 game. Go figure. So
No, but I'm sure your game against – I know your game against Baltimore is Thursday night because you both play on Thanksgiving.
So you are our noon game, and then we have a noon game against Washington, Bengals, and then the Giants at the end of the year. That's it.
Okay, so
yeah.
So
I call them JV games, but
we are not going to be a JV game. Hey, your games against the Giants and Washington will be JV games, not us.
Yeah.
Well, okay, let me say it like this. If you can stop our run game, maybe it'll become a JV game. But
I need a JV game because the last 3 weeks has been very stressful as a Cowboys fan.
So. But, you know, I'm a little bit surprised that this is a 1:00 game because I would think Fox would want like Joe Buck and Troy Aikman for like Dak Prescott against Baker Mayfield. Like, I don't know about you, but that's even as just a general football fan. Forget the fact that I'm a Browns fan for just a second. I know the history of like Baker Mayfield having all that swagger and stuff. And like, you know, when he was with Oklahoma, he planted the Sooners flag in the middle of the blocko, which I absolutely loved because I hate Ohio State. I am a diehard Penn State fan.
Gotcha.
So I was extremely happy with how the 2016 game ended with the blocked field goal, but I'm getting off track. My point is, like, we know Dak Prescott always seems to play with some type of chip on his shoulder. So I just thought maybe this game would have been like a Thanksgiving game possibly, or like a 4:30 game, just because of the factor of Baker Mayfield against Dak Prescott. Do you kind of see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I exactly see what you're saying.
Do you view it the same way or not quite?
Not quite. Like I said, because we have 3 home games coming up right now. So I know Giants is 3:00, and then Sunday night will be against the Cardinals. And then
I thought that was a Monday night.
Or is it Monday night? I think, yeah, Monday night game against the Cardinals. Then we go to Washington. Then we have a Sunday night against the Eagles as well. So we're going to get back into our prime time. Then we have another one against the Ravens Sunday night, I believe.
That's Thursday night. Thursday night. Because that's the game after you both play on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, exactly. And then the 49ers on the 20th of December is a night game as well. So
I'm not saying this should have been a primetime game.
Just a 3:00 game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go that far.
Yeah. But even if it's at noon, the whole world will be watching.
That's true because it's the Cowboys.
Exactly.
It's the Cowboys. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I will say it. Just for the sake of this video, the Cowboys are America's team, but I personally do not believe that.
There you go.
I'll say it like that. And that's how we're going to end this video. Do you want to give any type of signing off?
Yeah, I appreciate you for having me on. Like I said, this is fun. I had a blast. And so, like, best of luck on Sunday. I think it's going to be a good game. For people who want to follow me, if you're a Browns fan, and my channel is called Cowboys Fans Only, we welcome all NFL fans. So YouTube's Cowboys Fans Only. And then you can follow me on Twitter at jtuck151. And if you know people who are Cowboys fans, definitely let them know about the channel. We have a lot of great guests. Former players, all sorts of things. We definitely have fun with that. You saw we had Norb on the other night. So like I said, we're going to do a show tonight with a few guys who are dog pound bloggers. And so we're going to I'm probably going to ask them the same exact questions I asked you. So I just wrote everything down. But
maybe I'll jump on that video you're doing with Browns fans. What the heck?
Exactly. Yeah. Come on into the chat, man. Browns fans, and like to chat up. So we'll be live at 7:00 tonight. Yeah, 7:00 tonight. We have Garrett Bush from the barbershop, the 2 Browns guys. So they'll be on tonight. We're going to talk about football and just have a fun. But I just love talking football with passionate fans like yourself. So like I said, I thank you for having me on.
Yep. I'm Unger to the Max. I am a Cleveland Browns YouTuber, but I'm also a general sports YouTuber. Lots of videos focused on the UFC because the UFC is my favorite sport right behind the NHL, actually. But the NFL is getting up there. It might actually pass the NBA soon. But it is football season, so I'm focusing on the Browns. You can follow me on Instagram, Unger to the Max. Let's see. You can follow me on Facebook at #at Unger to the Max. I also have a new Facebook page called The Sports Room, so follow me there. And yeah, so thanks again for joining me. And are you interested in doing a post-game video?
We'll have to see, because I have a post-game schedule as well. So, but we can always do something maybe next week and come back, because I definitely got to see. I definitely got to see in your blue and silver, man. I can't miss that.
No, I got to see you in your brown and orange. I got to see you in your brown and orange. Hey, loser, whoever loses this bet has to do it. If we do a post-game, they have to do it on that post-game video.
Deal. So I have my post-game schedule with a few Cowboys guys after Sunday's game. And so if we lose, I'll throw on my Johnny Manziel. I'm actually probably going to throw on the Johnny Manziel tonight for the show. So, but because I like Johnny.
Browns never should have dropped it. Never.
So,
all right.
I like Johnny. But thank you for having me on. I definitely appreciate it. We'll definitely do something again to recap whatever we see on Sunday.
All right. Good to talk to you, brother.
All right. Appreciate it, guys. Have a good one.
All right.